This is the most enjoyable wilderness survival I've ever seen. They don't just have an endless supply of coconuts. Many crabs were also caught, built large luxury shelters, and a big girl to keep you company. Would you like to participate in such a wilderness survival? This challenge takes place in the jungles of Colombia. This is a stifling area. The weather is changeable. The jaguar is the apex predator here. This female protagonist is 33-year-old big wave girl Maru. She used to watch my survival videos on YouTube, think they can get $100,000 easily. So this time she signed up for the experience. My favorite thing to do is to eat corn on the couch. Only after watching my survival videos. Didn't really try. It can be said that the theoretical knowledge is strong. The actual operation is zero. This time the hero is Kyle. He's in the same situation as Maru. I mostly watch my YouTube videos. They think they can get the $100,000 prize by simply starving, so he signed up to give it a try. Maru and Kyle are both fans of the show, so this survival is just a fan challenge. They only have to survive 14 days to claim the $100,000 prize. $100,000 is a lot, but the contestants are required to be naked. $100,000 in 14 days. That's a lot. Soon the two met. Maru volunteered to make a match. As soon as we met, Maru said that he was an expert in paper negotiations. The implication is that I'm all talk and no action. Kyle said he'd seen 100 of my explications, familiar with how bigwigs have challenged the show. Maru means with your strength in my brain. I'm sure I can eat hot and spicy here. These high rollers really have the guts to say anything. Maru brought a big roll of duct tape. I was speechless for a moment. If I was dumb, I'd say something to her. Past players have brought film with them, but the effect is not good. So she's going to give it to past contestants in this challenge. Proper use of hard film in the wilderness. Restore duct tape's reputation with strength. Prove it's not a piece of crap. Kyle brought a machete. There are also the fire sticks and iron pots provided by the show team. They need to hike 10 kilometers to reach the water source. The weather is very hot now. The 10 kilometers hike is the easiest challenge to start with. Opening day. They walked along the river. Walking straight through the water is really not afraid to die. But there are crocodiles in the river. The two walked and talked. Walked for hours. The stones on the road are very rough. Maru proposed using duct tape to make a pair of shoes. They took the tape off and folded it in half, then make a small hole in the side. Then tie the tape around your feet. A simple pair of duct tape slippers. Kyle's cheerfulness pleased Maru. The sun was very high in the afternoon. They feel like they're baked. At least the duct tape shoes gave them some comfort. The pair also gave the shoes 5 stars. It was a little after 4 in the afternoon. At last they reached their destination. There is a large bamboo forest here. I also saw the big tree on the map. After 8 hours of walking, we finally arrived. They decided to build a shelter here. There are coconut trees here. There are many holes in the ground. Kyle guessed it was a coconut crab burrow. This location is close to a water source. They decided to build a shelter here. It gets dark in about 3 hours. They must set up shelter as soon as possible. First, make the fire to boil the water. Maru was very excited when she saw the fire. Fetch water from the shore and burn it. The next step is to build a shelter. Maru wants to build an A-frame. The two men soon came to an agreement. Kyle cut down trees. Maru clears an empty site. I used to watch videos. Now it's really my turn. When Kyle cut down the trees, bitten by a falling red fire ant. Now he felt a burning pain all over. These red fire ants are no joke. The bite really hurts. Although it didn't kill you, but it must be uncomfortable. They're gonna build a bed off the ground. It's getting dark now. The frame of the bed isn't even finished yet. Maru realized he needed to move faster. There are too many ants around. It's easy to get bitten. Maru wants to find a place where there are no ants. This tree looks nice, so they decided to build a shelter here. Kyle taped the branches. Build a slanted cover directly next to the tree. Then cover with palm leaves. Soon it got dark. There are many mosquitoes at night. This light does not repel mosquitoes. Instead, it has the effect of attracting mosquitoes. Maru feels like he's been eaten alive by mosquitoes. Tonight promises to be a sleepless night. This place is crawling with bugs. Time to the next day. They didn't sleep last night, constantly being attacked by mosquitoes. Now Kyle feels pain all over. I'm glad I didn't suck them into mummies. Maru, can you not wear your eyelashes? This is a really bad party. It's only the first night. They have 13 more nights like this. Today's plan is to find some coconuts to eat. Kyle sees some crabs here, but it's impossible to catch. Although the crab was not caught, but a lot of coconuts were collected. Realized coconut freedom. Maru tasted the sweet coconut water. Frankly, it's the best coconut water she's ever had. The weather is so hot now. These coconuts bring cooling. It saved their lives. Now there's water and fire and shelter and coconuts. That's pretty much a dream start. Midnight. The sky began to rain heavily. There are no mosquitoes tonight, but the wet and cold are still hard. Dead either way. Trying to get a good night's sleep is sad to win the lottery. Time came to the third day. Today they're going to remodel the shelter. Kyle plans to add a wall next to the shelter. This will keep you warmer. In a previous program, the players are really embarrassed to keep the fire going in the rain. I learned my lesson from last night's rain, so they want to build a fire shelter. They also want to build an enclosed shelter. After we finalized the plan, the two men began to gather materials. There is a lot of bamboo around. First, they had to make a shelter for the fire. Carl collects bamboo for the frame. Maru collects palm leaves for roofing. The resources around here are really good. I have to say the show took care of the fans. Kyle finished the frame in no time. The fire is just under the frame. This Neza has an idea of his own. She didn't think it would keep the fire out of the rain, but Kyle thought it would definitely protect the fire. Maru thinks the fire burns the bamboo. Neza's not happy right now, because Kyle didn't give her what she wanted. She theorized for 2 hours to prove her idea was right. I just want to jump up and slap her. Maru wondered why the bamboo baffle was under it, instead of sitting in the rain. Actually, it's a heat-reflecting wall that Kyle made. Maru did not realize that his theoretical knowledge was inadequate, and said it was useless. Kyle's starting to have a problem with the mouth-watering king. Actually, Kyle was right about the heat-reflecting wall. If you've seen my previous videos, the big guys survive in the snowy mountains. I've made reflective walls like this. The heat from the fire is blocked by the stone and reflected onto the body. Thus, it has a better thermal effect. But for what Kyle did, it's like negating Maru's earlier theory. So this Neza is very unhappy right now. It means I can be wrong, but you can't say it. I'm fucking laughing at you. Night. It began to rain heavily again. And sure enough, Kyle got kicked out. Fortunately, the fire is safe tonight. It's raining hard and Kyle's still watching the fire. People who have been married and people who haven't know what's going on. During the day, the Neza was angry. I still want to sleep together at night. There's no way. But it's a challenge Kyle won't take. The two had a fight in the shelter. Time came to the fourth day. Maru started tearing down the shelter early that day because she collected these palm leaves. This bitch is a little crazy. Neza vows to make Kyle regret it. Kyle took a shit this morning and came back. I said I was sorry to Maru right away. After Kyle apologizes, Maru's face changed in an instant. I mean, that's a pretty easy one. And she forgave her fight with Kyle last night. Maru says Kyle is smart. Well, he's a good man. Otherwise, he would have had a hard time. Today, they decided to continue remodeling the shelter. Maru wants to build a fully enclosed shelter and sleep off the ground. The two men began to gather materials again. The familiar division of labor. Maru is looking forward to the new shelter. In a previous program, two people said to do it. Kyle collects bamboo. Eat coconuts when you're hungry. The frame was set up in no time. A brand new shelter in a few hours. This looks really good. Maru is happy to fly. They're really good with their hands. They were very happy to see their new shelter. Forget about them. I look at this shelter and I feel good. This is probably the best shelter for a two-man challenge. In the evening, the sky began to rain heavily again. They were not bothered at all by the heavy rain tonight. Not only are there no mosquitoes on rainy days, the fire was burning well beside it, even though it was raining hard outside. But it doesn't stop them from getting a good night's sleep. I really thought I'd get a good night's sleep, but the rain didn't stop. The ground began to seep. She's got legs. Another sleepless night. The time came to the 8th day. It rains here every day. Water began to accumulate around the shelter. The tropical monsoon climate is really torturous. It rains here almost every day. Their shelter began to fail, but Maru is grateful to be alive. The palm leaves began to dry up. Their shelter is getting worse. Want to live more familiar. The shelter must be perfected daily. The time came to the 9th day. It didn't rain last night. Kyle slept very soundly. There are plenty of coconuts around, but Kyle wants to try crabs. This belongs on the coast. These little blue crabs are everywhere, but Kyle would rather catch some coconut crabs. He was going to put the coconuts in front of the hole and catch them. Kyle put the shredded coconut on the ground, then wait for the crab to come out. Maru was fetching water. Saw a crab on the ground. Pick up a stick and rattle it. This bitch really caught a crab. Sure enough, a girl is not a person. The crab gave her a lot of confidence, and Kyle hasn't been able to get anywhere here. He felt that the crab was mocking him, but I finally caught a crab. He took the crabs back to the shelter. Maru also said he caught a crab. Today is their day of victory. There's more than just coconuts to eat, and crabs. Time came to day 13. Tomorrow is the day of the evacuation. Malucci, check the evacuation map. They need to build a raft to take the water to the ocean, but there are a lot of caimans in the water. The two men agreed to build a raft. There's nothing but bamboo here, but they need to test the bamboo's buoyancy. They put 2 bamboo sticks on the water. Then everybody take a seat. The feeling of a up and down to Maru sit high. I'm a serious wilderness explainer. Please don't do anything immoral in front of me. I have no shame. It's just a simple test. The buoyancy is still very good, but a lot of bamboo needs to be cut down. In a previous program, hey guys, just use a large bamboo raft to evacuate. Maru also wants to build a big bamboo raft. Kyle is cutting down bamboo. The structure of the raft had already been planned. Maru uses vines to make ropes. She was just here to prove herself when she was watching the video. Learned a lot of useful skills. I mean, this girl's not pretty, but it was a very good survival. 2 fans put what they learned into practice. Success has made it possible for me to live here. They soon built the raft, but barely enough to hold 1 person. It would have been just fine if it had been Maru, but they don't plan to keep improving the raft. Kyle is gonna swim with the raft. Tomorrow is the day of the evacuation. They can't sleep at night, because you're gonna get $100,000 tomorrow. Already figured out how to spend your money. The time came to the 14th day. They woke up early that morning. Kyle disguises himself with charcoal, and Maru made her own breast cover out of duct tape. She's got legs. Put on this bra. I finally don't have to type. I could use 2 packs of tissues in the comment section from this perspective. They launched the raft. Maru sat on the raft. Kyle's doing a manual push underwater. There was no danger in any evacuation. It's a long way to go, but in the face of $100,000, these high people have nothing to worry about. Soon they were out in open water. Successful sighting of the crew's evacuation vehicle. So what other players will come here next time? Look forward to an update in the next video.